Hello and welcome to another update video about the S&P 500. We are at a very important point in the market. We talked in previous videos about the idea that we could be putting in a higher B wave top in place. It is fairly well recognizable, this B wave top. What you see here is the top that was made in January 22, right? That is a substantial top. Price came down since then in a correction, which I count primarily, disregard the orange wave count for now, but primarily as an A wave. The move up so far in a clear three-wave structure. A, B, C. Talked about that and explained all that in previous videos. And yeah, I mean, there could be a few more squiggles to the upside in the current count, but then we have a good chance to come down quite strongly in a five-wave move. And what we are now doing is to understand on the micro level when this pullback is starting. Or does actually the more bullish orange wave count play out? I wouldn't have any problem with that, but just understand that any pullback from here, if it's a large pullback and we put a substantial top in place, it could potentially be very strong and would most likely send us, I would say, yeah, 3,000, 2,500 maybe. So in that region, okay, at least from what I can see now. At the same time, this B wave is sort of doing what it's supposed to be doing, but it's maxing out its potential at the moment. I mean, don't get me wrong. B waves can overshoot as long as they are in three waves. Otherwise, we consider them something more bullish. But typically, a B wave would not break above the 78.6 retracement. In many instances, at least it's an important resistance. That's at $4,500 roughly. We've nearly reached that. So we are in a resistance area. And if a pullback occurs, certainly this is the time to be watching. I'm not telling you this is definitely going to come down. I'd be very happy to see a five-wave move up. But understand that if we see five up, how much more is going to happen here? Maybe 5,000, 5,500. And then we have a larger top in place before we come down. Yeah. I know that on Twitter and everything, there is a lot of talk about, okay, if the Fed pivots, and it probably hasn't yet because it still talks about 2 more rate increases, I think. After that, when interest rates decrease again, historically, the S&P has come down significantly. So that could be, let's assume we play out the orange wave count, which would be more bullish, which assumes the wave 4 was in place here on in the October low. Then a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. After that, let's say the Fed would reduce interest rates, it comes down. Now, I'm not a fan of, sort of putting this together. I like to just watch the charts and cut out all the noise. Otherwise, you can, talk about all sorts of stuff and always find the reason for why the price did what it did. But yeah, basically what I wanted to explain is there is certainly risk to the downside from here. Absolutely. We've reached a key pivot point. And what we are tracking now is a, let's say, short-term bearish case, but very open to the idea that it's developing something more bullish, but it would need to prove itself, which means that if we push any higher, and today we had a bit of a decline, or yesterday, if it pushes any higher, after the next high, we need to be watching, can we put in a higher low? And I would count that a wave 3 and a wave 4, then one more high. But until it shows us it can hold a higher low in a wave 4, yeah, I have to be focused on the downside, just because of risk as well, because we are really here at the top of a resistance area. And I mean, this is done a lot. I mean, yeah. But anyway, let's look at the micro level. Okay, so the idea is that of the March low, we've moved up in a wave 1, came down in 2, moved up in 3, came down in 4. We had here a trend reversal area, worked out. The idea was to make one more high. We made that one more high. But in my last video, I gave you a micro support area for this wave 4. That failed. Now, this is going to be very sloppy. If this is going to make one more high, it's going to be super sloppy. I don't know, probably only diagonal or maybe a 1-2-1-2 setup. Now, I never trust those. So technically, the chances for one more high have reduced, in my opinion, due to the break of the micro support area I gave you. So it gapped down. Yeah, it gapped down, invalidated that impulse. So it can only work. So one more high here can only work. And by the way, if we get one more high, I think 4,500 will be a key target. Yeah, it can only work as a sloppy and choppy and unreliable diagonal or a 1-2-1-2 setup, but I don't trust it because the second wave one here is far larger than the first one. So again, I would only be open to the idea of a diagonal, okay? And that only if it holds this swing low at 4,385, because if it breaks below that swing low, then we have 5 waves down. At the moment, as far as I can see it, it is only a 3-wave move to the downside. And if it holds this swing low here that was made, the wave 5 has a chance. But if we make one more low, then I think we're turning into something more bearish. And I think then it's going to follow here the white wave count. Whoops, where is it? Here. In a wave 1 to the downside. And that would, of course, unfold as a 5-wave move. So we're dealing then with, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and then in the wave 1, this might have been the first one down. So this is going to be, I think this week or next week, I think we're going to have a bit of a decision here. It's going to be highly interesting. I hope you understand the meaning of all of this, because if we really get rejected here and break down, then we could be looking at several months of a declining stock market. But let's see. I mean, it's not confirmed yet. Yeah, as long as we only have 3 waves down here of the 30th of June high, there is a chance for at least one more wave to the upside. Okay, that's my update about the S&P 500. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.